I'm Nudc, Prime Minister of the Open Government. Ladies and gentlemen, here I stand to tell you that if we want to have a very good government, then we should not let any elected politicians having or own any media companies. Why? Well, in the early of January 2017, Indonesian Broadcasting Commission giving a warning letter to the three national television, that is IUTV, Global TV, and MNC which is belongs to Hari Video, and it is related to the election of governor in Jakarta. Well, if you are paying attention for my words, we have two keywords here, that is elected politicians and the media companies. Media companies, we're talking about media companies. This is Global TV and MNC. About the politicians, we believe that elected politicians are those who have elected in an election and be a politician in a government in every level. Talking about this case, we were also talking about the media itself. We were talking about a lot about the media itself. What is actually the media? Ladies and gentlemen, media is very wide. If we're talking about the media, we're also talking about the broadcasting. We're also talking about the television, radio, magazine, newspaper, everything. The publishing, that is publishing news or everything to people, that is the media. And what is the media companies? Media companies is a media that is included in the organizational form. Let's say about the media. Media is made to publish everything, whether it is a film, whether it is a movie, whether it is a story, whether it is a news, to people, to public. And what is media actually? Media in our ideal thought having four functions. The first is for educating people, and second, it is for information, and the third, it is for giving entertainment, and fourth, this is the most important one of the most important one, is for persuading people. Nowadays, I'm from the communication major, and I do learn about the political communication. In the political communication, media is not only about the channel, but it is also about the political actors. Political actors. So who's writing the script? Well, let me tell you something. I have ever been working in the media, television in Jakarta as a production assistant. Let's first we're talking about the media. Media is consists of, if we talk about the media, let's say about the television, for example, we will talk about the news, right? We will talk about the program. We will talk about the journalists. We will talk about the reporter and everybody stakeholder behind it. Let's talk about the journalists first before talking further about the news and about the relation between the news and the publishing with the elected politicians. Let's talk about the news first. Journalists, ladies and gentlemen, do you have a standard for what is actually the professional journalist is? Is it someone who has ability to find the facts in the environmental? Is it someone who is able to write anything and publish it to people? That is it? So what is the difference between the journalist, the professional journalist, and internet blogger? Have you ever think about that? If you're talking about the professional doctor, if you're talking about the professional lawyer, they have the standard, right? They have the standard. For example, if you're talking about the professional doctor, they have done the additional education after their bachelor degree, for example, maybe 4 years to 10 years, and so does the lawyers. But what about the journalists? We don't have it. So if I'm talking about the journalists, what is the professional standard? We don't have it. Why? Shall I blame it? Shall we blame it? No, we don't have to blame it, because in journalism, if the government make a standard for it, it means that the expression which is is covered by the constitutions will be cut, will not be covered, will not be protected. So, I want to tell you one secret here. The journalists, for example, in the television, the journalists write the news, for example, 5 news. The journalists write, for example, 5 news, and then give it to the producer, to the television. The news will be edited by the producer. Either it is fundamentally or technically, it will be edited so that the news will be relevant to what is the goals of the media itself. Now the question is, ladies and gentlemen, what is the standard of editing itself? Have you ever think about that? What is the standard about the editing itself? Is it about the constitutional? Whether the news should be balanced, should be fact, should be not distress people or races or religions or what? Or is it about the company rights itself? I'm telling you that it can be both. It can be both, the constitutional and the importance of the companies itself. Now the question is, if let's get into the topic. I am the politician. Let's say that I am a governor of West Java, for example. I did the corruption. I take monies of the government, let's say 300 billion, for example, for my own needs. I have a media. Shall I publish it in the media? Ladies and gentlemen, shall I write it in my media? Sure, no. It will bring my goodness. It is impossible for me to tell my badness to the people outside there. I have my importance. I want people to like me. I don't want people to don't like me. I want people like my party. I want people like my company. And something about the media. Media is a public, and it is based on the profit. It is based on the profit. So it is about the rating and shares. If the news is good, if the news is loved by people, then it could be something good for the life of the company media itself. Now, if I say to the public that I am doing corruption and then my party is not good, my company is not good, would people like it? Sure, no. So I have to publish the good things about me. Ladies and gentlemen, I strongly believe that if the elected politicians given the rights to have or owning the media communications companies, it would be very bad for Indonesian atmosphere of politics. Thank you very much.
I'm Mahardika, as the leader of opposition of this house. Today, we will talk about some exciting motion. Our topic today is, this house believes that the elected politician should not own media company. And from the government side, they said some, in my opinion, some hilarious opinion. Let's talk about some media. Yes, I agree that there are 4 main points in the media. They are first, education, to educate people. And the second, for providing information. The third is for entertainment. And the fourth, for persuading people. Let's talk about the 4th point. We're talking about persuading people. Persuading people, not to talk about, we're only persuading them on the bad side. We're talking about how to educate people, the first point. Educate people about what we think about politicians, about politics. That's the main point. And the government side keeps saying about media. They don't bring us about the main topic. What we're talking about, the rightness of the elected politician for owning their own media. I would say that journalists has code of ethics. That's true, and they keep boasting about that. Let's say about this. Indonesia is not the only country in the world that has media. When why they just bring Indonesia? Why? Is there some grudge against Indonesia or something like that? I don't know. And that's here, and that may be hard for the other country who has the media. And when we talk about the media, they're not bringing us what is the main point, what makes us gather here. They just keep saying about the media and explain about the media, not our mainstream. So let me give you all the example and the limitation of our topic today. So we just not keep out of the line. So, when we talk about limitation, the politician is elected and will be participating in the political event. That's the politician. And the arm is not out individually in their name, but they have some asset in them. And the third is, when we're talking about media, we're talking not only about TV, but newspaper, tabloid, internet, banner, etc. So, our argument is, the media right now has been used as political tool to achieve their goal, rather than for delivering the information to the society. I'm not sure about that. We're talking about the modern era. Now please. We're talking about the modern era. But there is my point. Here's my point. The first is, there is no regulation in Indonesia. They're talking about Indonesia. There is no regulation in Indonesia, nor in the world, that has it said neither explicit nor explicit, that clearly state that the elected politician or the politician itself has no rights upon owning some media company. So let's take it clearly. Let's think clearly. Which regulation that makes the country prohibit all the politicians to own their own media company? That's not fair, I think. Just because they're politician does not mean they're doing crime. Let's make it fair. There are so many people that some minority, they just misuse it. Some minority, they even don't give us the data. They don't give us the data about what the misuse they think we are probability. There are some good news or benefits that the politicians own their own media. There are human rights that can guarantee all the politicians to express themselves, express their idea for all things. They give some earning, just like a media, or maybe it's inheritance from their family. I don't know. But when we talk about this, it's not guaranteed that politicians will misuse what they have to do. There are so many eyes. They will keeping an eye on them. So there are very tiny possibilities to say that the media or the owner of the media has been misused. Because we have another media to keep an eye for the other media. They keep keeping an eye. They keep looking for them. They keep searching and evaluating. The third point is, I would say, is we are in modern era. So why we go with just banner hanging on the street, among the street, when we said on the radio, there are some old-fashioned, old ways to say some campaigns. So we're talking here, we are in modern era. So why we just don't use some social media? I think that's most political system. Political media to advertise what's their goal, their vision, and their mission. The next is we can express our opinion freely. That has the rights in the human rights. It has been guaranteed. Why they will take it over? Why? I don't know. Maybe they just keep restrict the movement of the politician. The third is there are some advantage that can we get from the politician that has media, which is will deliver their progress. It's more faster than rather than to print out them on the newspaper. So many people watch the TV, so they can easily understand by among majority of the people. And thankfully, giving the information and so on. There are no difference with the media itself, such as TV, newspaper, and a banner. So I will give this alternative solution about this motion today. That rather than to ban the on-ramp upon the media for the elected political, we must create new regulation for them to restrict their movement and preventing the misusing of the media itself. That's all from me. We are from the opposite side of this house, opposition. I strongly believe that we can take over the rights of the politician that has on to their own media. Thank you.
From the opening oppositions, we are from the opening government. We don't agree with their statements but the impact of the politician when they have in our media companies, which is the good things elected or elections when the politician elected and they have their own media. We are not talking only about the function of the media, but we also talking about the function of the politician when they have their own media companies. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this house believes that elected politicians should not own media companies. Based on the story, in Senior Sukarno, he didn't have the media companies, but he could be a lion of audio in the Asia. Second, Mr. Suharto, he was being the second president of this country. We could be who could be the president of Indonesia until 32 years, and he didn't have the media companies too. And the third, Mr. Barack Obama, he was being the president of the United States until 2 periods he could be, and he also didn't have the media companies too. And I do believe they were really sure from the politician first before being the best people in the politics side. So I strongly agree with this motion. This is the sexiest motion for this morning. That we have to know it deeply. The politicians should not own media companies. But all of you here could be a politician too without having a media companies. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about what a politician is. According to Cambridge Advanced Learners Dictionary, the third edition says, a member of a government of law-making organizations, a distinguished or disgraced politicians. A politician in general sense is a public official whose primary role is to create or propose laws that further the general interest of the public. Ancients, politicians were often orators and public speakers whose primary role to persuade the public in certain ways of thinking and living, but who often had no official authority over the actions of the public in response to their ideas. The quality of public official has at least two dimensions. First, competence and honesty. Competence is the skill to identify the appropriate policy objective and achieving them at minimum social cost. To make these notions concrete, we will model competence as the ability to provide an indispensable public good with minimum tax revenues. Honesty, second, honesty is the character trait that leads an official to perform his duties without harassing private citizens for bribes or other kickbacks. So, the outlook of the politicians in moving society forward must therefore be focused on several key concerns of any civilizations. These include economic traits, religious views and moral values of the voters they represent, and the security of a society through its emergency service, military force, and financial solvency. That was what a politician is. The second is, let me tell you about the owner of media companies. First, the people who have a lot of paper on that stove, that they could lead the media companies as well as they want. because they have a lot of the stock at the media companies. And second, they could do everything what they want. But we are living in the country, the land of the government, that there were the regulations or constitutions who set us to live here, and we are as the society should obey it as well. So we are as the society that live in the country, and there is a regulation who set us to be wise and protect the country as well as a civil. Regulation according to Indonesian dictionary is settings. Regulation in Indonesia constitutes a formal legal source in the form of legislations that has some substance. That is decision that is written from a body an institution of officials and by the public. Regulation is also an all governing life together. Besides regulations, also regulate ethnic. Major regulation is the rules and policies related to governing relations and media technology and mass media operations. Regulation is essential. We can see the regulations now. The regulation of the media chapter. The regulation number 32, year 2002, chapter 4. And in the article 35, the content of the broadcast shall be in accordance with the principle, purpose, function, and directions of the broadcast referred to in Article 2, Article 3, Article 4, and Article 5.15. I4, the content of the broadcast shall be maintained neutrality and shall not priority in the interests of certain groups. I do believe and agree that with these motions, elected politicians should not own the media companies. We have a regulation by the government, and all the society who live in the country agree with that regulation as to protect the country as well from any violence of the media, not only in Indonesia but also in the United States and other countries in the world. So many guys who wants to be a politician, but they are coming from our media companies such as Mr. Haritano and Bill Clinton and others. And then the politicians should not have an own media companies because they are at the entrepreneurship of the media companies could impact the redaction as well. All the politicians should understand all about that because they are at the official public in the government. You have to know it first. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm from the Russian side, would like to say that the elected politicians is allowed that to own the media company. The government should allow the elected politicians to own the media company. First, we live in the modern era that in a modern era there are so many media around us because we know that we live with media has become our primary needs. And if we say that, what's the relations between the politicians and the media company? What is the relation between them? Why we should ban them to own the media company? Well, the people is getting smarter in this era. Is getting smarter. They know that which one is the right news or which one is the right country you have to believe. And there's so many companies, media, there's so many media, not just owned by the elected politicians. There's so many. So why we should ban the politicians to own the media company? What exactly? Maybe you think that if the media company will report some news or some data in lie or to be subjective in the politicians. But are you sure that all the media tell the truth, even in the world? Even the politicians didn't own it. You saw that all the media tell the truth. We didn't sort about it. So what's the matter if the politicians own the media company? First, everyone wants to take a benefit. They have their own business. They have their rights to make some kind of take a benefit or to take to fulfill their needs. And if they have so many stock on the media, it doesn't matter because he has always owned it and he didn't he didn't organize the media, which is arrogant. If we say that they have so many stock. And the media is not always reports about politicians, I think. We strongly believe that the media is not always report about the politicians or news. They always report about the very useful things like education, like to give the really, this is Indonesia or this is America or kind of that. And it's not, I think it's not, it doesn't have any relations between the politicians and the media company. And of course, it's the common thing that if there's so many problems about the media company to report about the politicians, that the politicians is doing something wrong. And it's a common thing happen in the world. In the world, it's a common thing happen. Because why I say that? It's a common thing happen. Even someone who didn't own the media company, some politicians who didn't own the media company still can do some corruptions or to give them something kind of like some money to the media. And also, some media have their support these politicians. And about the media, about journalism, we have code of ethics. So if they break the rule, they will be in jail if they have the regulations, because they have the code of ethics. If they break the regulations, if they break the code of ethics, they have their own consequence. And the thing that so many media in the world tell the truth, like I said before, and let's see that the media, what is media? We have always looking for the media every time, even in every day, and always talk about the politicians. It's not always talk about the politicians. So what's the matter if the politicians are the media? Yes, please.
So you say that it is what we matter. You say you know that in October 2013, Indonesian Broadcasting Commission giving the warning letter to the poor television in Indonesia, and then also in January 2017, Indonesian Broadcasting Commission giving 3 warning letters to the television. It means that we made the right decision.
Okay. You think that it just happened in Indonesia? No. It does not just happen in Indonesia. It just happened in another world. We know that. But why just because the media is telling something kind of the truth? And let's back to the main point. Is there any media of the world tell the truth? So there's no, we think that there's no media, relative media that can tell the truth. Even for example, in some campaign that some politicians who do some campaigns, and there's the supporter or the people who fill the campaigns, there's 500 people, but the media report it's about 5,000. So maybe you think that it's the media, maybe it's the relations about the media. But someone who didn't own the media still can do some kind of bad things to own the media or to use the media in an improper way. So there's nothing. We cannot say that just the politicians. It's just the politicians do use the media in a bad things, because there's so many kind of people without politicians or elected politicians do the media social in a bad thing. For example, there's so many hoaxes. There's so many hoaxes in internet in the world that is not created by the politicians. It's created by us. I mean, it's created by their own citizens in the country or in the world. It's not because just a politician. So they blame the politicians because the policy of the politicians is wrong. They just always to give bad news or to take this news with another version. So it's not, you can't just blame the politician. The people, we know that we are in a modern era. We realize that there's so many of us in this world. So we are become selective. I'm sure that we all hear that. So we are that very selected to looking for the media. We cannot just trust the media because this media talk about the politicians. Politicians is a very great man and blah blah. And we can just say we can look into another media because we do not just have one media in here. We have so many same thing. If the same thing, oh, we can trust this news. So if the politicians, I mean, just can't discriminate the politicians itself, because there's no politicians to use this media company in the wrong way. Well, we are from the opposition side, and there's no mistake for having a media company just because you're politicians. Well, we are from the opposition side. We are strongly believe that the politicians can own a media company. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, today I am from the closing argument, the first speaker of closing argument. I would like to talk about why the elected politician should not own his media companies. First, because there is one side wrong interpretation of Article 18.1 and Article 34.4 of Constitution number 32, 2002 about the frequency. Frequency is a limited natural research and supposed to use as much for social work. But what are we faced now? The fact is, the broadcast frequency transaction practice and centralized of broadcasting business owner is the more easy to understand is we know that the industry of media is having with one owner, just like Haritano with his MNC group, with MNC TV, LCPI, and Global TV, also Abu Dhabi with his SCTV, and also Surya Pala with his Metro TV. Second, mass media function is to educate, spread information and knowledge, build an attitude in public, make an opinion in public, and entertain. But if the media company is having with the elected politician, then the function of the media will be aside. Because why? The politician will use the media, their own media, to make a good reputation about his or her in front of public. They will use it for their own needs. They will use it to spread the information about his goods, about what is he doing. And it's not good for our public. Why? Because our public have a right to get a good education. We have a good right to get a good entertainment, a good education about what is the good politician system in our country. So we have to choose to the politician, the elected politician. First is for the elected politician that also have a media companies. First, the owner of media companies that also be committed or maybe the leader of political party or maybe to be a minister maybe or governor. We have one choose. First, he has to release the position in the party politics or maybe his position in the government. Or second, they should choose just be the owner of the media companies. How if he don't want to do that? Then we have to stop the broadcasting permission. Next, if you want to talk about the elected politician, that if you want to talk that, or maybe there is no elected politician that having their own media, because like we know maybe Jokowi, they don't have any, he don't have any media companies, maybe Anies Baswedan, he don't have any media companies. How if so what is it compatible for them? So we would like to say that yes, maybe because the elected politician is not having any media companies, but their team success yet does. Their team success having their own media. Like in 2014, we know in the election of president in Republic of Indonesia, we know the nominee is first is Joko Widodo and Yusuf Kala. Second is Prabowo Subianto. These two nominees doesn't have any media companies, but we know that their success team does. Prabowo Subianto, he has Abu Rizal Bakri in that with SCTV and TV1. Also, Jokowi, he has media who back up him, like Metro TV, also Global TV, and etc. So, if we talk about the media abuse, from Indonesian Broadcasting Commission data, and from 20th September 2013 until 8th of July 2014, we found that many media use media abusing. First from RCTI with 12 warning, Metro TV and Global TV, also TV1 with 8 warning, MNC with 7 warning, MTV, SCTV, and Indosiar or TVRI with 3 warning, and Trans TV and Trans 7 with 12 warning. This data told that a lot of media abusing in our media right now. They use the media to spread the information about the elected politicians that they're chosen by their own media companies in the media. And it is the data about it. And also, the elected politician, they will, if you want to say that the elected politician, there's no elected politician have their own media, then how about the Raniskan? He has his own media companies. We know it, Java Post Group. We know Java Post Group has a lot of branch in every province in Indonesia. Like in Sumbawa, in West Nusa Tenggara, we know Radar Sumbawa, Radar Lombok, and etc. And he's using the media to talk about his book in public.
And here, as the first figure of closing association. Okay, here we stand.
We say that we are support the elected politician to own the media companies. Before I say all of my reason why I support this, I am interested with the case that government have said before. The first case that about the politician who have media companies and they do the corruption and they decide to not publish that. I believe that not every politician who own the media companies have to do the corruption. So why we should too afraid of that? And the second case, second case is about the warning that the media got, for example, the Global TV and etc. The warning that they got, not only because the political problem, there's so much problem, the other problem, because you don't tell us clearly what is the problem, why they got the warning, okay? So I will enter the reason that why the politician, the elected politician, should own the media companies? First, there is no regulation that limits the campaign funds. Here I say that. So they are free to use their money to make an ad or to make their image become good. We can't limit them to use their power to make their image to become good because there's no regulation. And the second one, especially in democracy area, everyone feels free to make a choice. Like the media businessmen try to enter the politician, or otherwise the politicians decide to enter the media businessman. The third, furthermore, we know that every human has a right. So that is the right. They have right to decide to enter the politics or not, to own the media or not. No thanks. Furthermore, there are regulation, said that press have freedom. So it means that press have a freedom. They are free to deliver any information that they want as long as it's based on fact. So there are no limits that says if media should not own by elected politicians. And the media, we know that the media could make the public opinion. So the politician, or the elected politician, could make the public opinion that will make our state become alright if the public opinion is under control of the government. And the last one, we are in modern era, that we should use media because media are media are the closest things with the society. With media, the politician could share the rule of or the regulations, and the society will understand about that rule. So there's transparency about the rule that government have made to the public. So that's why, once more, that's why I support the elected politician to own the media companies. Thank you.
Okay, good morning everybody. I'm as second speaker of closing government that we do agree with this house that the elected politician should not own the media company. We have the several reasons. The first is that back to the function of the media, that the media is to educate, entertain, and the main point is to give the information to the public. So, the public should enjoy the freedom to receive and import information and ideas, include through foreign publication and foreign broadcast without interference by individual or private authorities. And the second is political parties are not allowed to own broadcast institutions since this is the means to the unfair allocation of nation research, the frequency spectrum to narrow political interests, and the last is the public should enjoy. And the last is the use of public research by elected politicians for the purpose of influencing the content of the media is really unacceptable. So, if we set a free for elected politicians, all the media companies will cause the politician system will steer by private goals, and it means we lose our democracy meaning and seize more public right. And although there are regulation media that control artificial media, we can say that there's the possibility that the politician, the elected politician who own media company will abusing of their media. So because the criminality is exists not because they will it, but also there's a change for them to do that. So we as government, we do believe of this house that the elected politicians should not own media is the best way to save our precision politics system. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Our argument about this motion is possibility that elected politicians should not own media companies, and we from policy opposition exactly disagree with this motion. Before I explain my argument why we disagree with this motion, I will wipe this case from government side. The first is government side that president like President Soekarno, President Soeharto, or Obama, they have a media company, but they can make states well. But I think that in Soeharto's era, they didn't have a transparency politics. They banned all of the media, and so when Soekarno banned all the media, the citizens cannot know what happens in the government. And the second is the warning, the case about warning television. They said warning in RCTI, SCTV, or something like that. They said that you don't know that why the television given the warning. It is not about politics. It's about the other content, and it is not politics. So I think that you can with this case. And the third is the function of media. You said that where we should you said that the function of media is not for publish the politics, but you didn't give us the solution where we should for the democratic state where they should release or publish the polish where they should release or publish about the politician. You didn't give a solution, and it is because I mean that we exactly disagree with this motion about this possibility that elected politicians should not own media companies. My first case is media can make a public opinion. You know that public opinion have a strength to make some states, and when public opinion is under control by the government or the elected politicians, they can control the public opinion, and where public opinion is under control, all of rules in the states is under control too. And the second is together nation opinion. When in some states they have many opinion, and they have a different argument make the crowded in some nation is make crowded states. And the third is social political control tool. The media is make a social political control tool, because social political control tool when the media is held by government, government can be control all of opinion public, all government. And the third is, and the fourth is the communication idea. The communication idea working program policy and something like in media we can government the election the elected politician can give all communication idea working program policy. What's happening in government is published in media because our media is owned by elected politician. And the last is what's wrong when he wants to make his country better with his media company. I think that when people want to make better states, make better nation, what's wrong when he wants to make his country better with his media company? And the last thing is elected politician who have a media company can controlling public opinion. When public opinion is under control, our rules in the state is under control too. Nothing work violence, nothing crowded, the state will be alright.